Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing this look right here. I did ask on Instagram what you guys wanted to see, whether you wanted something super neutral, which I have done quite a few of I think recently, or something with a bit more colour, and you voted for basically these two palettes. So I just mixed the two and it's kind of gone into a little purpley blue glittery smoky eye. So if you want to see how I got this look, then make sure to just keep watching. Right, so let's get this tutorial started. So I'm obviously starting with just moisturiser on my skin, bare face, did my brows as per usual, and then I'm just taking a little bit of my Fenty Profiltr primer. I'm really sorry I didn't show it in the shot, but that's what I popped on as my primer for today. And then I'm using one of my favourite foundations at the moment. If you haven't tried this, I really highly recommend it. This is the Nars Radiant Longwear foundation, and a little bit goes a very, very long way. So I would just say be a little bit careful, maybe try one pump. Like one pump of this I would say does a really light layer of my whole face, or like does a pretty good amount of coverage on half of my face. So I'd say just watch out that you don't put too much on straight away, so just do a little bit at a time. And honestly, this does not budge the whole day. It's so good, and it's not too matte. It has like a little bit of like luminosity to it, which I really love in a foundation. Looks really nice and kind of natural, and just it's just dreamy. So then moving on, we're going to go straight onto the eyes before we do anything else, just in case there's fallout. And we are playing with colour today. So I'm starting off with my Ruby Obsessions palette from Huda Beauty, and I'm taking the little kind of peachy transition shade on a big fluffy brush. This is my favourite iconic London fluffy brush from the Rose Gold collection. So I'm just doing little kind of windscreen wiper motions, little circular motions, you know the drill. This is what we do all the time, and I really like to drag that really far in towards the front of the brow and then far out towards the tail of the brow as well, because this is just kind of the base colour that we're putting down before we go in with any more. So next I'm just taking the colour that was next to that peach shade, so it's a bit of a kind of darker red with kind of pink undertones, and I'm taking the same brush again and I'm popping that into the crease. I start in the lower portion of the crease, and then just making sure that that seamlessly blends in with the original transition shade that we went in with. And I'm not blending out too far towards the tail of the brow because we're not doing a winged out look for this one. So I just keep going back and forth, taking a little bit at a time, just because when you're working with colour, I mean, there's two ways that you can do it. You can either build it up the way that I do it, or you can kind of go in quite intense and then blend it out afterwards. But I think if you're a beginner, it's a lot easier just to build it up as you go along. And switching up the brushes can be quite useful as well. So here I'm taking this Morphe M433 brush, I think it is, and it's a little bit denser. And the denser the brush, the more pigment payoff you get, which I really like for kind of packing on and blending out at the same time. So you can kind of go back and forth with different brushes. So as you can see, I'm now taking a even deeper red shade and still sticking with that denser fluffy brush, and I'm popping that right in the crease, if you get what I mean, like right in that crevice. Get in the crevice. And then I'm like doing a little bit at a time, building up the shade. This is really good if you want great pigment payoff. And then I will go back, as you can see right now, with the big fluffy brush, and that really makes sure that everything blends seamlessly. Now that we have the transition shades down, I know I'm getting crazy. I'm going in with a bit of blue. So I decided to go for this blue right here, and I'm popping that with a really tiny fluffy brush. This one came in a little set from MAC, like a little mini brush set, and it's so useful for really kind of getting the colour a bit more precise, like in that crease, because I really want it to blend nicely with the red. And obviously it's a little bit more challenging to actually get it to blend with the red, so I really take my time with this. I did spend quite a lot of time going back and forth, building it up, blending it out, building it up, blend it out, and it kind of creates a really nice kind of red to purple to blue situation, which I really actually liked. And then it just makes it a lot easier when you're putting on the lid shade. So I'm taking this royal blue kind of shimmer shade from the Sapphire Obsessions palette. I didn't even tell you what palette this is. It's the Sapphire Obsessions from Huda Beauty. And I'm taking a synthetic flat brush. This is the MAC 242, that's the one. And I did wet it with a little bit of Fix Plus just to make sure that you really get that strong pigment payoff. It's so good. You can also use your finger with these shadows because they're really good when you use your finger. And I'm packing this onto the lid. I'm taking it quite far up, right to the crease where we put that blue eyeshadow. And having the blue there already makes it a lot easier to kind of blend it in, because I do go back again and I take the deeper shade from the Sapphire Obsessions palette, again with a little mini fluffy brush, and I use that to help blend again to make sure that we've got no harsh lines. This is really important. You need to go back and forth quite a bit in this look, and it did take me quite a while, I'm not going to lie, so you need to like set aside a bit of time if you really want to make sure that that's nice and blended. And I just go back and forth with different brushes, making sure that every kind of stage is blended seamlessly. And then I just wanted to add a little bit of something, make it a bit more dramatic. So I'm taking this, what colour is it? Hold on. It is the Heavy Metal Glitter from Urban Decay in Glam Rock. There we go. Sorry, I had to get it out of my drawer, you know, real quick. And this is a silver glitter. And obviously when you put it over any kind of colour, it will almost, the colour will peek through, but then you still get that nice shimmery silver situation. I just really like it. I think it went really well with the blue actually, because I've tried quite a few of the Heavy Metal glitters and I really love the gold one, but I thought I would give this a shot because it's just a bit different for me, you know, shaking it up all the time. And then as we move on, I'm just going to take this this pencil. Oh my god, I need to get everything out of my drawer because I'm so unprepared. So this is the NYX Jewel Slide On, Glide On, Stay On and Definitely Turn On Waterproof Eyeliner. Jesus, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? Basically, it's a NYX eye pencil in the shade Jewel. And then we're going to move on to lashes real quick. I've already like prepped my eyes, I believe. Have I prepped my eyes? No, I haven't. And this is the Lancome Hypnose mascara. And I'm just popping on a bit of that to prep for the falsies. The falsies that I went in with are the Mykonos lashes from Lilly Lashes, which are pretty much my all-time favourite, I feel like. They're just so dramatic. And if you've got a dramatic eye look, I really feel like you need dramatic lashes just to kind of balance it out a little bit. If you're doing a softer look, you can definitely just stick with mascara. But if you don't like big lashes, just go for some little ones, maybe some wispies or something. And then for concealer, I'm going with my Huda Beauty Overachiever concealer. I've really been loving this and I just love the coverage because I did do quite a light layer of the Nars foundation because it's quite easy to make it look a little bit too cakey. So I thought I would just add some extra coverage with the concealer. And I'm just blending this out with my Morphe blending sponge, which I'm obsessed with, but you need to make sure that you dampen it so you get that nice flawless finish, and then it kind of soaks up a little bit of excess product as well, but not as much as a beauty blender, I would say, which I really, really love. So I'm just making sure to blend that out all seamlessly, and the colour's pretty good actually. I didn't go for too much of a brightening concealer. I kind of wanted it a similar shade to my natural skin tone, because the eyes are dramatic enough, you know. And then I'm just setting my face with the Fenty Profiltr powder in the shade Butter, and then I also take the flat side of the Morphe sponge and just carve out the cheekbones a little bit. It's like a really nice guideline for when you do your bronzer, which I'm going to do in a minute. So I actually went in with this Nars Stephen Klein palette, and this is the Laguna bronzer in this palette. This is a really, really great face palette actually. If you haven't got anything like this, it's great to like travel with and stuff, but it's a little bit on the heavy side, I'd say. And then I'm just warming up my face, and I take my time just building it up, making sure that I really blend it nicely, and I don't put much pressure on the brush at all because you really don't want to get that kind of muddy look when you do your bronzer. I know this happened to me multiple times and it's really annoying, so I'm just making sure to do light layers and building it up, because with a dramatic look like this you really do need to warm up your face, because I feel like it can kind of drown out your face, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway. And then I'm just wiping away the bake because it's definitely been there long enough. And then I'm moving on to highlight. So I start off with the Iconic London Illuminator drops. These are just the original shade, which are my faves because it's more of a like peachy gold undertone. And then I'm just popping that on the high points of my cheekbones. And this is the only place that I tend to use this, to be honest. Sometimes I put a little bit on my Cupid's bow and maybe on my nose. But I think this is just a really great base for any highlight that you're going to go in with. So today I decided to go for the 3D highlight palette from Huda Beauty, and this is the kind of warmer golden shades. And I'm going in with the colour Seychelles with my Anastasia A23 brush, and I'm just popping that on, and I popped quite a lot on. You definitely don't need to put this much on. I was just feeling a bit extra this day, so I literally put loads on my face. And then I'm popping it on the cheekbones. I pretty much put it everywhere on my face, to be honest. Any high points, I really love the way that it looked. And then basically taking the excess off of the fluffy brush that I was using the blue shades on, I popped that on my lower lash line, and then I took another fluffy brush and a little bit of the red shades and kind of mimicked what we have on the top on the lower lash line, and I think that looked really nice and smoked out. And then what are we moving on to now? Oh, I think it's a blush time. So I'm going to take my Tarte Exposed blush. Oh, is this not just the dreamiest thing you've seen? I absolutely love this blush, and it's not too pigmented, which means that you can build it up really nicely. I still end up going a bit too ham with it. I just don't know what happens. I just love a bit of blush. And I kind of drag it over my nose as well because I decided to go in with some faux freckles. So I just did this really lightly with the Kelly Baker brow like pencil. And I kind of just do little dots, and that was kind of it. I didn't do too many, just a little something. And then I'm just taking the Morphe lip liner, and I need to find the name for you because I'm just so unorganised when I do my voiceovers. It's Sweet Tea, the Morphe lip pencil in Sweet Tea. And I just aligned that and kind of shaded the outer corners a little bit. And then I went in with my Huda Beauty Vixen Liquid Matte. I love her liquid mattes. They literally last all day. Once I put this on, I went out for dinner, I was drinking wine, I was like having oil, like honestly everything, and it just stayed on, and it was really comfortable as well. So good. I really recommend these, and I just love this colour. I thought I'd go for something a little bit more neutral, but not kind of my usual kind of pinky nude, if that makes sense. And then lastly, I'm just going to set in place and make myself a bit more dewy with my Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I am obsessed with this, and it smells so good, and it's just dreamy. So this gives a really nice glow to the skin. So this is the final look, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm living for the colour and the glitter. If you did like it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. And apart from that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.